Afternoon. This is from Dina's Desk, and I am Dina Bilbrew, your career and life coach. And I am here every Tuesday at 12 o'clock p.m., bringing you a different topic that is going to help you in your career. So make sure you are telling people, make sure you let people know that Dina is live every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. She is live here with another topic and with another broadcast helping you to elevate in your career. And this week, we are going to talk about unemployment. We're going to talk about a topic that's not a favorable topic or a favorable thing to be going through, but we're going to talk about how to survive it. We're going to talk about the 6 things that I did to survive unemployment. I've been unemployed several times throughout my career due to layoffs, due to relocation, due to sometimes just being in an unfavorable situation and I needed to leave. There are just a number of different reasons why someone may be unemployed. And there were some things that I needed to do so I can make sure that I keep my sanity, so I can make sure that I get through the process, I stay sane, I keep my self-esteem and my self-worth. So I'm going to let you know some of those tips and let you know some of the things that I did to survive my times of unemployment. So unemployment, as I have mentioned, is something that it's not a favorable situation to be in. It actually can be scary because it's a time of unemployment. It can really be kind of draining. It can really kind of have you question yourself. Why is this happening to me? I'm an intelligent person. I have degrees. I'm professional. I know I have skills and abilities. And why am I unemployed? And why am I not able to find a job? Why is it taking so long for me to find employment? And those are all the things that are very real things that you may experience and things that you may go through. So I want to give you some of the things that I did to survive it so that you can get through it and you can get through it and come out on the other side and come out with a plan and come out successful as you go throughout the process. So the first thing I want to tell you is to get some rest. The first thing that I did when I was laid off is I got some rest, because I'm pretty sure you're used to getting up every morning, maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. You're used to getting up and getting dressed and maybe getting your children ready and all the things that you have to do in the morning to be prepared. And now you don't have a job to go to. And so I would recommend that you get some rest. Get some rest and take some time to maybe just sleep in a little bit, Maybe just take a little extra 30 minutes in the morning instead of just getting up as early as you would, right? Take some time and get some rest. And think about, the fact that, you have some time to really just kind of relax a little bit. Not that we want you to do so much relaxing that you're not taking your unemployment seriously, but take advantage of the time that you have to relax. And, before you know it, you're going to be back in the rat race again. You're going to be getting up early again. You're going to be setting your alarm and, maybe commuting to work and all those things again. So you want to take this time to get some rest. So first and foremost, after you have come to the conclusion and the realization that you are unemployed, I would advise you to get some rest. That's the first thing that I want you to do. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to reassess what your needs and your wants are. This is a perfect time to reassess what you need in your job at this particular point and what you want in your job, right? This is a perfect time while you're in between, while you're going through this transitional period, to really stop and think about what do I need and what do I want. And I'm saying that because whenever you are going through the job search process, when you are looking at positions, when you're looking at what your next career move is going to be, it'll be a lot easier and you can maybe get there a lot quicker if you're much more certain and you're much more real with yourself and what you want and what you don't want. So maybe make a list. I'm always one for making lists. So make a list and then just write down, here are the things I absolutely have to have in my job. These are my needs. I have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are some things that I want in my job. I don't necessarily need them, but it would be nice to have them, and then make another list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many they are. And then just really kind of keep it on the forefront of your mind. And when you're looking at different jobs, you're looking at different job descriptions. Whenever you are applying for jobs, going through the interview, you're researching the company culture and just, taking a look at these companies, see how well the company matches up with your needs and your wants. So this is a great time to be real with yourself, reassess your needs and wants, and think about what is it that you really want. Do you want a more flexible schedule? Do you want to work 100% remotely? Do you want a shorter commute time? Do you no longer want to be in leadership? You no longer want to have a team of people reporting to you. Maybe from now on, you want to be an individual contributor. Whatever it is, there is no right or wrong, but just reassess what you really want. Now that you have this time to kind of rest and relax and take some time to think about it, I definitely recommend that you do that. And there may be a good time for you to take an assessment. There are plenty of free career assessments that you can take out there and just kind of ask some, find out some things about yourself, where you are, personality tests, strengths, and, your areas of opportunity tests. What kind of jobs will be a good fit for you now that you're at this particular point in your career. And even if you, are kind of certain, there's nothing wrong with taking an assessment because it could just affirm what you already knew about yourself. Or you may realize, I have some skills and I can go and do some other things. Because maybe you worked in a particular industry for a certain amount of time. This is a great time to make a transition and go and do something different. And you may not necessarily know what's out there. So it's a great thing to take some assessments and kind of, look out there and see what's out there so that you can maybe make a transition if that's what you want. But I definitely recommend step 2, reassess your needs and assessments. And the more honest you are with yourself and what you want and what you don't want, the easier it will be for you to find your next opportunity. Right? And number 3, the third thing that you want to do is you want to develop a plan. You want to develop a plan. This is not something you want to just kind of do willy-nilly and just kind of haphazardly look for jobs and, think a job is going to, fall into your lap. You want to develop a plan. You want to have a plan of attack. How do you want to attack this thing where you are trying to, get employment at this particular time? So the first thing, of course, is to update your resume. Go through now that you have this time and go through and update your resume. Think about the things that you have done at your most recent job. Make sure you are writing accomplishment-based statements, not just generic duties, but think about your accomplishments. Think about using your industry terminology. Think about putting information on there that will impress someone. Someone that's looking at your resume will need to be impressed. So make sure you update your resume with all of your skills and things that you have done. Because while you're working and while you were going through, the everyday, everyday things, in life or on your job, maybe you haven't updated your resume in the last 2 or 3 years. So now is a great time to do that. And I recommend that's where you start with the plan. And then while you're at it, go ahead and get a cover letter. It's always good to at least have a cover letter or rough draft of one or have a template, because sometimes they may require it and sometimes they may not, but it's always good to have one so that if you need it, you can just readily just tweak it and just upload it right with your resume, okay? And then you want to, next in your plan is you want to spend some time setting up some profiles. Go to some job websites and you want to go ahead and set up your profile and go ahead and upload that resume. The resume that you just restructured and you just updated. You want to go out to different websites, maybe pick about 5 or 6 websites in general and just upload your resume, right? Because a lot of times the recruiters and the hiring managers are going to be looking out there for resumes and they can pull your resume. And so you want to make sure that you have your profile out there, your resume, your cover letter, and everything out there. And then, of course, you want to set up some job search agents. You want to set up some agents that are readily have all of the, the things that you want in a job, and it'll automatically send you an email. You can automatically get a notice whenever there are jobs that match the criteria that you're looking for. So I recommend right away, you go ahead and set up your plan, your first week of unemployment, and go ahead on and get these things in place in order to just make it much easier, because now you kind of have like a well-oiled machine in terms of how you're updating things, how you're uploading things, and how things are, coming to you. Okay, the next thing in your plan is you want to saturate your network. You want to saturate your network. This is not the time to be shy. This is not the time to, be embarrassed about it. You need a job. You need employment. So people aren't going to know about that unless you tell them. So after you have updated your resume, send it to the people in your network. Send it to the people that send it to the people definitely who you think can help you, and then maybe even people who you don't even know can help you will be able to. So just send it to, people who you think will be a resource for you, people who you think can pass your resume along to someone else. Definitely people who are in positions to hire, people who are in positions to, really have some influence. Send them your resume. Let them know your current situation. You're in between jobs right now, and you really would appreciate it if they could, one, either look over your resume and maybe give you some feedback, because maybe, they can do that for you. Or two, maybe they can pass your information along to someone else. So, come up with the email template, just copy and paste it to some, different people in your network, and let them know that you are now looking for employment, and ask them to help you if they can. And then, of course, use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the number one place that people go, recruiters go when they're looking for candidates. So make sure that you are definitely networking on LinkedIn, definitely uploading your resume to your profile. There's a way you can do that. Making sure you are going out into different groups, and you can upload your resume, or just even say in the group, I'm looking for employment. Does anybody know of any openings in this particular area? Or, just kind of be bold and kind of introduce yourself to people. Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you're networking. You definitely want to make sure that you're saturating your network. You want to start attending networking events and job fairs and all of those things. You're going to have to get yourself out there and let people know that you are open for work and that you're looking to make a career move. Okay, and then the last thing in your plan is to apply for jobs. And I know it kind of seems a little silly to have to say that, but I want to make sure that I reiterate that, because sometimes, we start applying for jobs, we start getting some feedback, we start getting hits on our resume, and then we become a little bit lax. And we think, okay, I got it. I got 3 or 4 recruiters that reached out to me today. I can just kind of, relax. Or I've gone to 2 interviews and I think it went well. I should get the job. I can just kind of relax. And I want to say to you that you should keep applying for jobs until you actually get the job. Keep applying for jobs until you actually firmly have a job offer and you actually have a job. Because there have been a couple of times in my career where I interviewed, the interview went well. They gave me every indication that the interview went well and that they were going to hire me, and I should be hearing something from them in the next couple of days. And then something happened and it was crickets. I didn't hear anything at all because they had some internal changes, or because at the last minute they decided to go with another candidate. And I just kind of thought I nailed it, and I just kind of got lax in my job search. So make sure you continue to keep applying for jobs until you actually have the job. Okay, so that is your plan: updating your documents, resume, cover letter. Make sure you're saturating your network. You're setting up your job search agent so you're getting jobs coming to you, uploading your resume, your profile, and then you are applying for jobs until you get one. Okay. The fourth thing that I did to survive unemployment was I set daily and weekly goals for myself. I set daily and weekly goals for myself. And the reason that this is so important is because this thing called unemployment can be very overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming, and you may get very overwhelmed with sitting at your computer, applying for job after job, waiting for the phone to ring, uploading your resume, submitting, your profile, and all of those things. It can be very overwhelming. So for me, I had to have certain days and times that I did things, and I had to have certain goals for myself so that I could keep my sanity. Okay. And one of the goals that I did was I decided how many jobs each week I was going to apply for. I decided how many jobs each week I was going to apply for. Now, I know if you are submitting for unemployment, they may have a number. They may give you so many jobs they want you to apply for, but I really suggest that you still, on top of that, have your own. Have your own goal of how many you want to apply for. And you may say, each week I want to apply for 5 jobs. My goal every week is to apply for 5 jobs that I'm really interested in, not just random jobs, but these are the jobs I really want. Because again, in step 2, we talked about reassessing your wants and your needs. And we talked about really thinking about what you really want in a job. So these are 5 very viable jobs that you would actually interview for and really accept employment if they were to offer it to you. So 5 realistic jobs, that might be your goal, right? And you may decide each day you want to allot 4 hours a day to apply for these 5 jobs. So you may decide every day I want to sit at my computer 4 hours a day and I want to look for jobs, apply for jobs. I want to network. I want to attend networking events. I want to attend different webinars with people giving out tips and tricks and things in my industry, whatever it is. You may want to set a certain time you want to do that, a certain amount of time, and how many jobs you want to apply for each week. These are the jobs that I want to apply for. And then once you have reached your goal, then you can stop looking. You can stop looking because you have met your goal. And so that gives you more of an incentive to do it earlier during the week. Because if you find your 5 jobs by Wednesday, then guess what? You can take Thursday and Friday off. You can take Thursday and Friday off because, again, we're trying to keep our sanity. We want to make sure that we don't get overwhelmed by this. And it can be very overwhelming to sit at your computer every single day, spend 8, 9, 10 hours, 5, 6, 7 days a week. That's just not really healthy. And so we want to make sure that we keep our mental health. We want to make sure we're keeping ourselves healthy, keeping ourselves sane. That's why I'm saying set a goal, set some parameters. And so the earlier during the week, if you find your jobs by Wednesday, you have Thursday and Friday off. If not, you have to keep going to the end of the week, right? And then, like I said, set certain hours. And maybe you're someone that you want to do that early in the morning. And you want to get up and you want to look for a job every day from 8 to 12. And that's what you give your time. You have your quiet time and you're doing that. That might be fine. Or you may be someone that maybe you have small children that you kind of need to get situated and get them to daycare or to school or whatever it is. And so you kind of do that in the morning. And maybe you start looking for your jobs a little bit later. Maybe you don't start till 10. Maybe you look for your jobs from 10 to 2. Or maybe you're someone that, you really have other things you want to do during the day. And maybe you kind of look for a job later on in the evening. Whatever it is, set a goal for yourself, kind of set a schedule for yourself, and set some parameters. And then once you have met your goal, log off, turn the computer off, shut the computer down, and then go live life, go do something else, right? Which is going right into number 5. Goes right into number 5, where I'm advising you or encouraging you to survive unemployment. You want to get a hobby. This is a great time to get a new hobby. You have extra time on your hands. You're going to have some extra time. You're kind of reassessing where you are. This might be a great time to pick up a new hobby. This is a great time to do something that you've always wanted to do. Maybe you've always wanted to redecorate your kitchen or repaint it or redecorate your living room. Or maybe you've always wanted to, spend more time at the gym. You can get a gym membership and things like that. These are all the different times that, you have extra time to do the things that you wish you had time to do when you were working. And now that you're unemployed, you have some extra time to do that. You have extra time maybe to spend time with family and friends. Maybe you can do some volunteer work and do some community service, right? Which is something you can ultimately put on your resume. So if you're concerned about gaps in your resume, if you're out in the community, and if you're volunteering and you're doing some community service, that's what you can put in that gap. You can let employers know that you have kept yourself busy by doing these things, by volunteering. You can join a professional organization. And that way, that's another way that you have kept up your skills during your time of unemployment. So get a new hobby, find something that you would be interested in doing, stay involved, make sure you keep yourself active, because this is another way to keep yourself motivated and keep your mind off the fact that you're unemployed. So you're not just sitting at your computer all the time. You're not just sitting in the house all the time. You're getting out, you're staying active, you're finding something new. You're at a different point in your life now. So maybe you're, going and starting to play tennis that you've always wanted to do. Maybe you're going to yoga or something like that. Just find a new hobby and find something to do that's going to keep you active, keep you motivated, and keep your mind off of being unemployment so it doesn't become so overwhelming for you. And then lastly, number 6, one of the major things that I did to survive unemployment was I rewarded myself. I made sure that I rewarded myself for my little small victories. So again, if I found my 5 jobs that I had given myself a goal to find, if I found those by Wednesday, then maybe Thursday I went out and maybe I, had lunch out somewhere instead of being in the house. I treated myself to a meal outside the house. I treated myself maybe to ice cream. Or maybe on a Friday for lunch, I went to the movies. Maybe take a quick weekend trip or 2 or 3 day trip or something to reward yourself. So once you accomplish your goals, reward yourself. That's the way to keep yourself motivated, right? Because again, this can be overwhelming. If you're without work for 2 or 3 months, it can start to be very overwhelming. So you reward yourself for your small victories along the way. Maybe for the ladies, maybe you'll get a manicure and a pedicure or something like that, right? Maybe you just, go and treat yourself, go and do something that you've always wanted to do treat yourself and reward yourself for your small victories. Because during this process, you do have to take care of yourself and take care of your mental health. It's very important that you take care of yourself throughout this process. And then I want to give one extra bonus tip. I want to give a bonus tip. As you're going throughout this process, it's very important that you speak positively about yourself and speak positively over your situation. Make sure you're not thinking negative. If any negative thoughts come up, make sure you stop those thoughts immediately and redirect yourself. Change your mindset and think about your situation differently. Speak positively. If you're someone that says affirmations, you may want to say to yourself, as you're sitting at your computer looking for jobs, you may say, I'm a qualified professional and any company would be lucky to have me. You may say, my perfect job is waiting for me right around the corner. Every time I interview flawlessly, I answer the questions confidently, and I feel good about my answers. Find some affirmations, find some positive things to say about yourself. Every time you submit a job on the internet, you upload your resume, say something positive. My resume is a great representation of who I am as a professional, and it will be seen by the right person at the right time. Every time you get ready and you're preparing for an interview, I interview confidently and professionally, and the people I'm interviewing with will see my value and offer me a job. My job is right around the corner, and I'm getting prepared today for what my life is going to look like in the next couple of weeks, right? Come up with some positive things and make sure that you speak positively about yourself, okay? So those have been some tips and some things that I did to survive my times of unemployment that I wanted to share with you. Because as I've said before, if you've listened to my broadcast before, all jobs are temporary. All jobs are temporary, and you never know when it's going to be your day, and you never know when your number is going to be called. So whenever you find yourself, if you find yourself in between jobs, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. You know, it happens, but just make sure you have a plan. Make sure you have some tips. Make sure you reward yourself. Make sure you take some time to relax. Make sure you take some time, the time off, the extra time you have to go do some of the things that you always wanted to do, and make sure that you speak positively about your situation. And that will help you to survive unemployment. So that has been this week's edition of From Dina's Desk. I will be back here next Tuesday with another topic at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you share this broadcast. Make sure you share it with other people, and let people know that I will be here every Tuesday helping you to elevate in your career. If you have any comments about the information that I've shared today, I certainly welcome you to type the comments or to just send me a DM if there's anything that you have questions about or anything that you want to discuss further. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Make it a good rest of the week.